I'm here with Joe Bosco, and he reached out to me a little bit ago and told me that he wanted to start teaching how he teaches and coaches on the golf course. And since I'm really excited about this concept and I know the results that he gets, I wanted to get it out to everybody about what he's doing and what you need to know about it. So, hey, Joe, I'm glad that you're doing this. How's it going?
It's going great. Good morning, Corey.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so you're going to be talking about teaching and coaching on the golf course. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's been a cornerstone of my process of teaching and approach to helping golfers since I really started 26 years ago.
Gotcha. And so, I mean, what's the core of it? Like, what specifically are you going to teach that people don't know already? I think this might be a case of some people might not know what they don't know, in a sense.
Yeah, well, I find it fascinating that when people come up to me and ask me to help them, they are usually students of the game, all different levels, all different ages, and experience levels. And they've been frustrated because they've taken the lessons, they've done what they could for getting club fit and worked on their golf swings, but they're not seeing and experiencing the improvements that they thought they would get from scoring and the golf experience on the course. And then I asked them the simple question, have you ever had a playing lesson? It's fascinating and a little troubling to me. So often I get the answer no, that they have not had a teacher take them on the golf course. And let me give you a quick analogy. Yesterday, my daughter decided to embark on learning how to play the guitar. And we had purchased her a guitar for her birthday. So we took her to her first guitar lesson last night, and guess what? Immediately the teacher had her playing songs on the guitar. There was no guitar range. It wasn't just chords or notes. It was the actual playing for enjoyment and learning. So that's an analogy that I use quite a bit.
Yeah. So I think a lot of instructors have playing lessons on their pricing sheet, right? It's just at the bottom. Maybe they do like one a month or something. So what's holding most people back from actually teaching like a couple of these a week?
Well, true, I believe you're right. A lot of golf teachers will say that they do them, and sometimes they do. But it's a cornerstone, meaning I'm doing playing lessons somewhere between 70 and 90% of each day that I go out and teach. I believe that what happens is golf teachers are price sensitive often. They're also sensitive to time, and so are people. So oftentimes the half hour or the hour lesson that works on mechanics to try and learn as much as they can in that hour and get as many swings in potentially is almost the value that starts to become the mindset between teacher and player. I disagree wholeheartedly with that approach. I believe that the goal is to help them have meaningful learning experiences that are going to be indelible and useful when they leave, and they can begin to implement them where it matters, in play on the course.
Gotcha. So I know that you've been working with some teachers on learning some of these strategies and stuff that you use on the course. Like, what kind of results can people expect from their students, and I guess for their business as well? Like, is this a good business move to start working on playing lessons? Like, what are your thoughts there?
Well, I've certainly found it to be instrumental in building my both reputation and the results that I'm able to achieve. I don't believe I would have the uncommonly successful results with the lion's share of the players that I work with without being able to go and into the real world of the golf course and help them learn and apply the teachings that we're providing them. From a business standpoint, yes, it is a sort of a mindset shift, a paradigm shift to understand that motivating players to get out onto the golf course with you requires some time, and it may cost a little more money in terms of the expense of the greens fees and the cart and all that. However, the loyalty you build, the communication, the relationship that's built, the true understanding of what they struggle with is so much more vivid, and it pops out. I'll give you a great example. Yesterday, we took a young man who failed to make his high school golf team last year, and his father brought him to me, several weeks ago and said, now my son wants to see if he can go ahead and make it. We get on the range. The kid is able to hit the golf ball on the range, no problems. It doesn't look like there's a significant issue at all. Well, if I would continue to just be on the range with that young man, we would perfect a golf swing. Perhaps we'd get a little more consistent. We'd make it a little more power. Well, what we wouldn't know is that he really doesn't have short game skills. His putting and his green reading abilities are really not very sharp. But most importantly, on that very same full swing concept, you put him in an uneven lie on the golf course, he has no concept of how to align and aim himself and make a swing based on uneven lies and alignments. Nor does he have course strategy. And so all kinds of downward spirals kick in when he's on the golf course that don't happen in practice, in warm-up, or in a lesson.
That's really interesting. I love that example. So people are obviously going to learn the value of this. Could you give a rundown of the day? So July 29, you're going to be hosting this workshop. What's a rundown of the day for people if they're interested in coming to hang out with
you? Well, it's really, this is as much about the mindset of both a teacher and a player as it is about anything to do with mechanics. So I want to make that clear up front. This begins with a significant amount of my experience being applied and a conversation about the role of the mind and emotions in the whole process of learning and performing. And so the beginning of the day is around breakfast, and that subject is covered. I happen to keep tabs on the latest research in brain and mind and performance in all athletics, particularly golf, and have been involved in a number of beta studies and tests with products and techniques. Those are now at a point where they're being applied at the tour level and the collegiate level. They have efficacy to them, and there's enough proof that I can now share with teachers meaningful, practical ways to do what we all have heard sports psychologists talk about that sound really good. Then, before you know it, the hour lesson's over, you've worked on swing, and you really haven't considered the mind or the mindset. I'm going to help teachers learn how to put that into the right perspective so that they really can dig deep in understanding why the player does what they do and how to help them more effectively. So that's the first step. There are a number of processes that I am going to expose teachers to in an organized, simple fashion that are going to help them as players. So every teacher who comes to this is going to walk away with grist to play better golf themselves, as well as how to then teach more effectively the way they do teach. Once the discussion is over, we're going to get into action. We're going to start to apply mental techniques in the pre-golf course part of the day, prior to lunch, so that we can understand when you're on the range, when you're on the putting green, the practice areas, how do you apply the mental strategy along with the techniques that you're familiar with teaching and preparation for being on the golf course. Because after lunch, we're hitting the golf course. And the teachers are going to live the life of what it's like to be a student and then kind of change over their roles and take on the role of, now if you're a teacher, this is how you would look at it, and then this is how you would want the player to respond and what you do. I realize that time on a busy golf course is a subject that comes up all the time. In my book that's really highlighted during the concept or during this day, people are always wondering, well, my golf course is really crowded. I don't know how I can do that. I'm telling you, where there's a will, there's a way. And I find on a very busy semi-public, semi-private golf course, I found ways to jump in there and find one or two holes to get the message across in an hour sometimes, and other times I am doing a 2 or 3 hour playing lesson immersion. But the teachers are going to walk away with this very in-depth understanding of the plays you can run on the golf course, the things you can look for, and how to handle issues that pop up so that you're really strengthening the coaching relationship and having them walk away with a set of things that the player can start to do to play better golf out there where it counts.
Gotcha. So perfect. So we got concepts in the morning, practical example, and training in the afternoon. That sounds perfect. I know, just so people know, we've been talking for a while, and you've told me a lot about the research you're doing and different concepts to play around with when I go play golf, and it's been really cool. I haven't heard the information that you share with me really anywhere else. So you're a really good source on what to do on the golf course and how to train on the course. I'm a big fan of what you're doing and what you're teaching. But that being said, just so people know, why are you qualified to teach this, to host this workshop?
Sure. 26 years of teaching golf at a pretty significant clip. I mean, I'm one of those teachers that's teaching basically 7 days a week. 12 months a year, I do my best in the Chicagoland area. Sometimes I do some travel, but I have found effective strategies. I wrote a book about this that's had some very good critical acclaim and becoming adopted by some of the top teachers in the world, and they're applying it to some of their players at the advanced level. And the playing lesson approach that has some organization and structure to it has really shown me, and it's showing a growing number of teachers, that they need to add this back. If we're going to really continue to lead golfers into the game and get them to stay in the game and enjoy it and play it more often, which our industry needs, teachers need to step up and understand that it's going to be about the meaningful learning experiences in context on the golf course. I don't know of another teacher that teaches as much on the golf course as I do. So I think those are some of the qualifications. I mean, my performance coaching experience and being a high school golf coach over the last 5 years and quite successful at doing that with obviously some great players has helped me to understand that just teaching somebody is certainly a terrific skill that we all have to do, but the bridge over to coaching people to take the skills that they already own and have them flourish under pressure when they want to most. That's the holy grail of what I believe our mission as teachers really becomes.
Awesome, awesome. So I get to, just to leave people with a taste of what they can expect. What's like one thing that you think someone can do starting today or this week with a student that can better work on their mental side or taking their best game to the course? Like what's one action that a teacher can take with a student?
Let me give you two ideas. First one, we've all heard that learning how to do breathing and those kinds of things is supposed to have a really good effect. The question becomes, how many coaches, teachers, have led their players to actually do those things, not just in some discussion offhand while they're hitting balls on the range, but also as they're preparing during the round and on the golf course. So I would suggest a breathing drill, simple one. It has two ways to go about it. One is you can do this without anybody knowing, and it's a 4, 7, 8 count. All that matters in this is that you expel all your air out of your lungs, and then you suck it in through your nose to a count of 4. Then you hold that to a count of 7, and then you exhale through your mouth to a count of 8. And you do that pretty slowly, so you feel a little bit of time lapse that really stretches your inhale, your hold, and your exhale. It'll feel a little strenuous in the beginning. What's going to happen is if you do that cycle 3 to 7 or 8 times, that cycle of 4 in, hold 7, out 8, what it's proven is that your heart rate, your brainwave activity are going to change. Your oxygenation is going to change. Your coordination is going to be different. I will say better because most of the time, after I've had players go through this, they have a different feel, both mentally and physically, and they perform better almost every time. Now, these are things that sound kind of maybe out there. I'm telling you, they're very relevant. So I would suggest that people try that as something that they can get started on right away for themselves.
Really cool. Okay, awesome. So this is good. If people want to check out, or if they want to apply to attend your workshop, how many people are going to be there, or how many people are you letting?
I'm only offering it to between 8 and 12 players or teachers in any given session, and each session's a day long. It's a full day. If people are looking to come from out of town, at the Glen Club here, we've got 21 fine hotel rooms at the club, and I can offer, as a member here, a nice low price if somebody's interested in coming in and and staying with us here. But yeah, intimate group. This is hands-on, and it's collegial. I mean, I've done some workshops with the Illinois PGA, teach the teacher workshops with Mike Adams. We have a great facility here. It's a world-class place, and really excited to get more teachers into playing lessons.
Awesome. I will be there. It'll be great. And yeah, we hope to see you there too. Chicago, July 29, the Glen Club. All right, Joe.
Corey, have a great rest of your day.
All right.